Subscribe to ULO and never miss out on our weekend and racing festival tips, with more racing coverage on our website, at ulo.co.uk. Later next week, make sure to check out the ULO Weekender on Spotify, to get the lowdown on the big races coming your way. The best of the racing action is at Ascot and Haydock Park on Saturday, where the Clarence House Chase is the hot feature at the Berkshire track. More of that later. But the opener looks like a straight duel between the two French recruits, Mondo Man and Lulamba. Both are making highly anticipated first runs on British soil, and the costly purchase Mondo Man is the one that should act on this ground, so edges selection over anti-post hot favourite Lulamba, who does at least have winning form over Timber in the book at Orteal. However, Mondo Man was smart on the flat, finishing a fine fifth in the French Derby, and being sold on for over €500,000 was quite a statement. In good hands with Gary and Josh Moore, who do well with these types, and Cailin Quinn on the reins just adds to the appeal. Mondo Man to beat the Jolly. Sunday will be an early start as we check out Sha Tin in Hong Kong, where Ka Ying Rising and Voyage Bubble both feature, so be sure to log in on Saturday night for the preview. Saturday's nap is Royal Pagaille, lining up in the Peter Marsh Chase. Horses for courses here, as Royal Pagaille bids for the hat-trick in the Peter Marsh after landing this in 2021 and 2022. 11 years old now, but proved he was just as good as ever when landing the Betfair Chase for the second time in November, at the expense of hot favourite Grey Dawning. We napped him for that defence, having scored in 2023, and now 5 from 6 around here is very hard to oppose for this contest, despite shouldering top weight. Sarah Bradstock's Mr. Van Gogh is one going the right way over fences, and gets lumps of weight from Royal Pagaille, while Kim Bailey's Treelawn has course form, so has to be noted. It's going to be a true test of stamina around Haydock Park, in these sapping conditions. But Royal Pagaille is the one to stick with. Our next best goes in the big one at Ascot. The Clarence House Chase is a race cemented in the memory, when none other than crowd favourite Desert Orchid took this Grade 1 prize in 1989, on its inaugural running. With the champion chase at the Cheltenham Festival the natural stepping stone from here, this race occupies an important place in the National Hunt calendar. It has produced some memorable duels over the years, not least when the Great Shiskin somehow managed to get upsides of Energumene in 2022. Having looked beaten going over the last, until Nico de Boinville managed to get one late burst out of Nicky Henderson's Star Chaser. This renewal is all about John Bon, the premier 2-mile chaser from the same Seven Barrows yard, who lines up against Energumene, and last year's runner-up, Edwardstone, when the race was relocated to Cheltenham. This year, Ascot specialist Boot Hill also joins the party, but it's John Bon for the win, and that looks a nailed-on bet on the good to soft ground expected. A terrific race in store, not to be missed. Earlier on at Ascot, it's hard to get away from Willie Mullins's Cargees for the Grade 2 Mares Hurdle. The best Irish juvenile last season, second to stablemate Madgeborough in the Triumph Hurdle at the Cheltenham Festival in the spring, she took her form up a notch when taking the champion 4-year-old hurdle at the Punchestown Festival to round off a great campaign. She should hit the ground running here for last year's champion trainer, with his strings starting to fire as the Dublin Racing Festival draws near, and should be classy enough to fend off the attentions of Dan Skelton's Take No Chances and Ben Clark's Ooh Betty. John Joe O'Neill's All the Glory is an interesting outsider, but Cargees should be winning this. Up at Haydock, Royal Infantry can take the Rossington Main. Dan Skelton's Royal Infantry would not need to improve much from his course and distance win last time out to put some black type in the book here. Obviously this is a deeper race, with Sandy Thompson's Dedicated Hero and Katie Price's Peacenik lining up, while Irish Raider Clunainra seem to like the drop-in trip when runner-up at Leopardstown, so can also make the shake-up. Martator can score for Venetia Williams, who got him into a fine run last year, winning 5 on the bounce including 3 times here. He's never been out of the first 3 in 12 starts over fences, so looks a solid bet despite heading up the weights, as Ned Fox's £3 claim is a useful offset. Joe Tizard is having a fine season at Venn Farm Stables, so Scarface comes into the equation after a decent second place here last month, while Ben Pauling is another trainer going well, so Bad makes the shortlist, despite being £5 wrong at the weights.